only able to hold it for a minute, but it was definitely enough to get some production. And now he's moving back to the bottom left cluster. And he's going to hold on to a portion of the big one, it looks like. At least try. He got blocked on one of the 70s there, right like in the middle of the map, and he lost a few ships. Not enough to really hurt him, but enough to keep him from expanding where he was. He had to move up to the top. The Plague's definitely taken a hold on the map, and at some point Alex died. I mean, he's floating there still, but I'm not really sure what happened to him, to be perfectly honest. He's mostly out of this game. In any Galcon game, you're never out until you're out of ships. People have come back from 1-2 ships easily, but in this game, with the way the clusters are, and it's really just one big mass and a couple little side masses, and the talented players that are in it, it's just, he really doesn't have too much shot at this. So we're gonna go ahead and count him out for now. We'll see what he can do. And it looks like the Plague and Jorfu fought a little bit, and Eljabom is definitely taking advantage of that. He's sweeping through, and he looks to be the biggest right now. Production and possibly ship. I don't know how much the Plague has in his planets, but I don't think he has quite as much. Also, Jorfu is definitely down on ships right now. I don't know, he must have lost a bunch in the fighting. I don't think he's had bad production at any point, really. He's usually been able to hold on to at least a fair cluster, but he's definitely been fighting pretty much this whole time, so it looks like it took a toll. And Alex did manage to take a small 5-planet cluster, but Eljabom comes in behind him pretty quickly, not wanting him to come back, which is a good thing right now. You know, it's in a game that you're trying to end sooner rather than later. You know, throwing in more people is throwing in more variables, and that's just not good, especially when you're winning, because that's one more person to attack you. And everybody should be attacking Eljabom right now pretty fiercely. He's got a fairly large advantage, and what I'd really like to see is, there we go, Jorfu coming down to the middle cluster, the big one. That's where the money's at. The Plague doesn't have enough ships to capture it or maintain it, really, and Eljabom's gonna defend it. At this point, I really think he may have the win here, unless Jorfu has more ships than I thought, because even just that measly like 10-20 seconds holding that big cluster when he was already fairly big was just more than enough. He's I can look at the stats real quick. That one cluster alone is probably pretty close. Yeah, I mean, that's at least 1,000 production. Probably a bit more, maybe 1,500, just a guesstimation, really. Yeah, so that's, and the production is 1 ship a minute. So to have 1,000 production, to hold that, just as an example, I don't really know the production, but just to hold 1,000 production for a minute is 1,000 more ships than maybe your opponent. I mean, they'll have production too, but it's definitely a huge advantage. And just for that 10, maybe 20 seconds that he held it uncontested over the course of the game was more than enough to sweep the floor there and to be able to come out on top. And that's the game. Eljabom wins. It was a great game, a little bit longer than I'd hoped, but we'll see how it turns out. Now it's just down to putting it all together, the video and the audio, and let's hope that works out well. It's Cairo signing out.